Howdy! Welcome to Aspire Mountain Academy. I'm Professor Curtis, your instructor for this course in Introductory Statistics. In less than 10 minutes, this video demonstrates how to create a frequency distribution from a data set using StatCrunch. Let's get started. Now, before we go into using StatCrunch to make a frequency distribution, you're going to need to access the data sets we'll be using to make all our frequency distributions. You can get that access when you join the Aspire Mountain Academy StatCrunch group. This group will serve as the repository for all the data sets we'll be using in this course. Now, to get there, you want to go to the StatCrunch website. There's two ways to get there. If you're already enrolled in a class that uses the Pearson product My Math Lab or My Stat Lab, you can access StatCrunch there in the main menu options. Alternatively, you can point your browser to statcrunch.com. Now, once you log in, look for the little triangle next to Explore in the main menu options at the top. Okay, and click on it, and then in the drop-down menu that appears, select Groups. In the screen that follows, and you see a portion of it here, okay, you can find the group by using the search box here at the left. Search for Aspire Mountain Academy, and you'll easily find it. Then click on the title to join. Now, once you've joined the group, enter it and select the Oscar winner's age data file. StatCrunch will then open the file for you. Once the file is open, you can make your frequency distribution. Okay, just go to Graph, Bar Plot with Data. You'll then see an options window appear like the one here. Up at the top, select the actress column, since this is where your data is located, and then come down here and click Compute to get your frequency distribution. Now, don't be surprised if you get what looks like an error message. It's just StatCrunch seeing a huge data set and asking you if you really want to go forward. Just click OK. You'll then see a results window like the one you see here containing your frequency distribution. Keep in mind that for most of what you do in StatCrunch, if you want to go back to the options window, you don't have to go back through all these menu options to get back there. Just go to your results window, click on Options in the upper left corner, and then select Edit from the drop-down menu that appears. The options window will then appear directly. Now, some of the students manage better with the cropped images from screenshots that we just reviewed, but other students do better with a video. So if that describes you, here you are, a video embedded within a video, showing you everything we just covered. Okay, we're here in the StatCrunch group for Aspire Mountain Academy. So what I'm going to do here is go to select the Oscar winner ages data file. That's going to open up for me, and now I'm going to make my frequency distribution by going up to Graph, Bar Plot with Data. Then here in my options window, I'm going to select Actress because that's where my data is located, in the Actress column. Frequency is the type of graph that I want, but that's the default, so I don't have to select anything. So I just come down here and hit Compute. Yes, there's a lot of data here, so I'm just going to collect OK. And there's my frequency distribution. Woohoo! Okay, now that you know how to make a frequency distribution in StatCrunch, I'd like you to pause the video, go back into our StatCrunch group, and make a frequency distribution with the last digits data set. Then I'll show you how to make it to make sure you got it down, as well as a special trick that will really help you on your homework and other assignments throughout the term. Then we'll use the last digits frequency distribution to answer some example questions. Okay, let's see how to do this. Okay, we're back in here in the StatCrunch group for Aspire Mountain Academy. We're going to show you how to make a frequency distribution with the last digits data file, and I'm going to show you a special trick that will help you so much on your homework and assignments. So first we're going to open up the last digits data file. Now my data file is open. I'm going to make my frequency distribution by going to Graph, Bar Plot with Data. Select the last digit column because that's where my data is located. Frequency is what I want. That's the default selection. Now I'm going to go down here where it says value above bar. I'm going to check this little box. You're going to see why I checked that little box in a moment. I'm going to hit compute. Here's my frequency distribution, but whoa, look at this. We have the actual frequency counts for each of the columns at the tops of each of the bars. This is a super help for you as you complete your homework assignments. So that's a little trick that I learned. I'm passing it on to you. Hope it helps you out. All right, I hope that you got that same distribution in StatCrunch. If you didn't, go back, try it again until you learn how to do it right. Now, once you get the same frequency distribution on your own, come back to the rest of this video. Okay, here we have the frequency distribution from the last digits data file. Here's what we're looking at. The California Health Interview Survey collected health data from California residents. The weights of 50 randomly selected participants were then taken, and the last digit from each weight measurement was placed in the data file. Now we've already constructed the frequency distribution, and it looks like you see here. Okay, so now let's look at what we have here. What do you notice about the distribution? Does anything stand out to you? Well, you probably notice that the frequency counts for the 0 and the 5 categories are inordinately larger than the other categories. Keep that in mind as you answer some questions about interpreting the frequency distribution. Okay, here's your first question. Do the heights appear to be reported or actually measured? In other words, do these values appear to come from people answering a question about their weight? Or do these values appear to come from someone who actually measured people's weight? I'll give you a moment to respond. Well, these are likely reported values. Remember what we noticed earlier? When people when people report their weight, as in response to a question, they tend to round their answer to the nearest multiple of 5, or more commonly, 10. So someone who, say, 261 pounds will more likely say 260 pounds to give you a rough number, not the actual number itself. And that's why the data values from these categories, the 0 and the 5, appear to be inordinately more frequent than data values from the other categories. So if the values were measured, then we'd expect to see the frequencies for each of the categories have roughly the same amount. And so the shape of the distribution would be more uniform or flat instead of showing spikes like what we see here. Okay, so given that, what can you say about the accuracy of the results? Well, given the evidence suggesting bias that we've already seen, it's not likely that these data are very accurate. Next time, whoever did this should actually measure people instead of asking them about their weight. And that brings us to the end of this mini lecture. I hope you found it helpful. You can find more mini lectures for this and other courses at AspireMountainAcademy.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.